Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order. I want to hear the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his statement that, quote, "It's clearly been a large sum of money, but at the end of the day I gave a commitment to the families at Pike River. I'd do everything I could to get their men out. I stand by that. I think the government has done everything it can do so far," close quote.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, we are doing everything we can and we will continue to within the constraints of safety.
The Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker. Is the government doing everything it can to support the families affected by the Pike River disaster economically?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I believe so. The families that have lost a loved one will of course be eligible for ACC. That's a substantial payment to those families, and that won't do anything to bring back their loved ones, but at least will give them the comfort and support that they know that there will be money coming into the families. There is work going on to try and help that community for the other families that are left behind. Obviously the company's gone into receivership. I understand that the Mayor of Greymouth met with the Economic Development Minister this morning, and the only other last comment I'd make is that New Zealanders will be aware that they've given very generously, both at a corporate level and a personal level, to a fund for the for the families of the Pike of the Pike River mine, and obviously I'd encourage disbursements from that fund as soon as possible.
The Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker. What level of support can the Pike River families and the Grey District expect from his government's economic recovery package, given the precedent set by his $1.5 billion bailout of family investors in South Canterbury Finance and the $33 million support for Warner Brother Films?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Firstly, Mr Speaker, I think it's important to understand that the $1.5 billion was honouring a commitment made by the Labor government that he was a minister of. So I think that is important. In terms of the $33 million for Warner Brothers, that was to secure 3,000 jobs that the CTU and the Labor Party wanted to see leaving New Zealand. And I'm surprised they're a bunch of Hobbit haters, but obviously they are. And thirdly, we'll be working with those families.
The Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Order. I want to hear the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order. I want to hear the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why is the economic recovery package for the Grey District not being announced until January next year, when people who have lost their jobs or been affected by the Pike River disaster need certainty before Christmas?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, my understanding is that all of the members or all of the employees of Pike River actually are going to be paid right through to Christmas, and that's because they're getting paid redundancy payments. So I don't think the challenging issue is necessarily that point. It's future employment from there. The good news is, as the member will be aware, is that the unemployment rate on the West Coast is actually lower than other parts of New Zealand. It's around about 4.5%. The second thing, of course, is that the advice I've had is the economic implication of Pike River is about $12 million out of about a $600 million economy. So while it's obviously a significant impact on Greymouth, there is a lot going on the West Coast that will help provide employment opportunities.
Question number 8, Dr. Cam Calder.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.